What do you know about redevelopment in the city, and what do you know about the impact it has had on communities of color?
Yeah, well, I think there's, you know, um, I just lost my word there. Um, Redevelopment throughout, the late 20th century, second half of the 20th century in particular, and can continue to have an impact on communities of color. From the introduction of the interstate system that cut through all American cities, to redlining, implicit and explicit ways that communities of minorities have been impacted, um, by the federal government, by private developers, for decades. We are recognizing, through our new strategic plan that was released in 2021, at the end of last year, that as preservationists, when our organization, PPS, was started in 1956, so we've been around, for 65 years, and we're trying to recognize, even though we as an organization, and of course I wasn't here 60 years ago, try to use preservation as a tool, to save buildings and to save homes, and neighborhoods and streetscapes, that we've even been complicit, in the relocation of people, in certain neighborhoods in Providence. So we're trying to come to terms with that, make sure that we don't do it anymore, and also help, really be intent about doing work in all 25 neighborhoods in Providence, and not just about a fifth of those, which I would say our work has focused on, either intentionally or unintentionally over the last 6 decades. And some people might be surprised to hear that we care about new development, and new construction, as a preservation society, but we have the long view, both back and forward. And so we want to recognize that, there's a lot of infill development, which is how we call it, or just more open land development, particularly in the I-195 district, which of course hasn't always been vacant land. There was the interstate until not long ago, and before that there were neighborhoods and older buildings on both sides of the river. And so we want whatever is new and is added to the city's landscape, to be successful and sympathetic to our dense historic architecture, which we have a lot of. We're one of the oldest cities in the United States. So most people live in buildings that are pre-1970. And we certainly have lots of 19th century and some late 18th century architecture. And we just want, all of the new construction and the old to meld well and be successful.